All right, have and have not fans, this is probably the most anticipated video after last night's episode, The Broken Washer, based off the fact we got a little more backstory on Derrick himself, and also the fact that Veronica has a history with this guy. So first off, be sure to follow Mr. Keith Burke on social media. I want to put up a couple pictures of his Twitter and Instagram. Really nice guy to talk to. We've had several conversations. Again, down to earth fella. I mean, just to have somebody from the show respond back and very quickly to any kind of tweets or Instagram comments. 2 thumbs up. He has my seal of approval. So be sure to follow Grateful One. Yeah, Grateful #1. And again, the pictures are on the screen, and I'll put links in the description below. And also one more plug: if you love seeing Derrick on the Haves and Have Nots, aka Keith, he's going to be on the season opener of Preacher, which is a show on the AMC channel, and the season opener is going to be on June 24th. June 24th. Mr. Keith Burke, aka Derrick, will be on the season opener of Preacher. Now, with all the advertising done, we're going to jump right into this video. Wow. So in my episode review, I mentioned how Veronica, if you really look back at like season 2 and her interactions with Quincy, it seems like Veronica has you know how she always talks down to black people that don't have as much as her. It's like, oh, you one of them thugs? Or you going to beat me? You're going to rape me? You're from the other side of the tracks? Little old maid Hannah and stuff like that. I'm willing to bet that Veronica had thuggish boyfriends growing up. I don't think she's always been a have. I mean, I don't feel like that was the case. I think it was mentioned that she came from the same side of the tracks as Hannah, but pretty much crawled her way up the success ladder. And yeah, that's how I believe it was mentioned in earlier seasons. So Veronica hasn't always had what she has now. And yeah, so basically let's break down what happened in the episode. For one, she was drunk the entire episode. And if you watch my episode review, you'll get my full thoughts on that. But she gets the advice from Candace to get laid, and I'm surprised she even was able to absorb that information based off how much she was drinking. And I'm still wondering if she drove herself there or she had a limo driver or somebody carry her to the hotel. But not to mention, did she drink before putting those explosives or bombs in David's vehicles? Because I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be drinking while handling explosives, but what do I know? So we know that Derrick has a criminal past. Veronica released him, you know, put him on the straight and narrow path, most likely as like a maintenance worker, and put him on to Catherine and all of her other rich friends. So that's how Derrick has an income. And it was also mentioned that the house that Catherine gave to Hannah, basically where Hannah and Benny and Melissa are staying at, is a house that Derrick himself built. So Derrick and Veronica have had sex at least once. We know that to be true. And it wouldn't surprise me if this was soon after he was released from jail thanks to Veronica. You're probably wondering, Jeremy, what do you mean that soon? Well, for one, in jail, I'm pretty sure that Derrick didn't get any from any women, for one. So, yeah, that's one. And number 2, Veronica would have felt like he owed her. So I feel like that happened soon after he got out of jail, but before he met his wife that passed away a year ago. That's how I feel about that. And there's no telling what kind of secrets that Veronica has on him. Now, when it comes to secrets, you're probably wondering, you know, if it's that bad, then why would Veronica hold it over his head? My guess is that the people that Veronica hired, I guess you could say, had Derrick work for, like Catherine and all her other rich friends, they don't know about his criminal past. They just know that he's a guy who's good with a hammer, some nails, and is able to fix maintenance, build houses and whatnot. They don't know what his criminal past is. But I'm willing to wager that those secrets would be more damning to Hannah than anyone else. Because just because of his criminal past, do you think that Catherine would stick her nose up at Derrick and wouldn't allow Derrick to see Hannah? I'm wondering if this is how it's going to work out. It's just a theory now. If Veronica tells Catherine, but, you know, be honest, they're really not on speaking terms as it is, about Derrick. You know, she blows the whistle on Derrick, but Catherine finds out, you know, all the secrets and whatnot. Will she keep that information from Hannah, or will she tell Hannah and then Hannah will look at Derrick differently? I feel like that's how it might happen, because remember, Derrick invited Hannah to the beach on Saturday because he has a place out there that would be nice. So I'm guessing that maybe not the next day at work, because remember that Hannah's going to go over to Catherine's house in the next episode, which is still nighttime, most likely because of the trouble Benny's gotten himself into. So let's just say, I'm just making an assumption here. Let's just say whenever Hannah goes back to Catherine's house, you know, to work again, aside from the, you know, they'll have their talk about, you know, Wyatt and then Benny, but then also what about Derrick? And then Hannah will say, you know, he came over, we had dinner or watched a movie or watched TV, and then he called me up and invited me out to the beach. And everything is all good because Catherine can see how happy Hannah is. But would she have the heart to tell Hannah whatever secrets Veronica reveals about Derrick? So we don't know what those crimes are, because as Derrick said to Hannah, you know, I felt like I met you before, like I know you. And then says, you know, I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger. So we don't know what those mistakes are. Everybody and their mother is assuming that it's the fact that he was a rapist and whatnot. Man, I don't know, guys. I mean, it does seem very obvious. And like I said before, when it comes to the whole lion tattoo thing, I always wanted Veronica to be the one to see it first. That way the audience would know who Derrick is, but Hannah, Benny, and Candace wouldn't know. But now we know that whatever evil Derrick has done in his past, Veronica knows it well. And then another question is, was Veronica assigned as his attorney? Why did Veronica get him out? And it goes back to what I was mentioning about Quincy. Remember that Maggie Day suggested getting Quincy out of jail in order to take care of Candace. But then when Veronica went to the jail, saw Quincy, got him off, sent him on his way to find Candace. Quincy shows up in her bedroom thinking it's David. Veronica plays along, but then gets out of bed, and then Quincy says that she's wet, meaning that it wouldn't surprise me, because the one thing about the Quincy scenes, you had the one scene where, you know, they were in bed together, but then the beginning of season 3, when Veronica was getting ready to go over to the hotel to kick Maggie Day's ass, Quincy was downstairs because she could smell him, and then he attempted, you know, rape her. And in both of those instances, you know, Quincy was driven off by Veronica's threats. And even though Veronica was shaken by the experiences, I always thought that Veronica in some twisted way was turned on by Quincy. You know, this whole thuggish thing. The fact that she has a thing for these thugs, these ex-cons. Remember, she got Benny out of jail because of that fight he got into. Remember, he rammed his car into Quincy's and beat him up outside the strip club. Then got him out of jail because he gave her a call. And then they had sex in David's truck. Basically, after he got out of jail, they had sex, which is why I said that maybe Derrick and Veronica hooked up not too long after she got him out of jail. That's just my theory. But then with Quincy, it was kind of another, I don't know why, but she didn't want Quincy, but then he was like, I know you do. Well, you know, it's up to interpretation, but I guess since we don't know what the secrets are now, I guess the bigger question is, who is Veronica going to tell? Is she even going to remember this? Remember, she was drunk the entire episode, and then the fact that RK is going to come over later that night, and it seems like she's going to be distracted by him. What do you think is going to happen? So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Derrick is the one with the lion tattoo? Do you think his crimes included rape? And ironically enough, in a twisted way, if Derrick is Candace's father, I guess you could say like father, like daughter, because they both are getting in trouble with the law a lot. So there's that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, June 24th, Preacher, AMC. Keith Burke will be on there, and be sure to follow this great guy on Twitter and Instagram. So thanks so much for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel because, guys, I have a list of video ideas I need to get done over the next couple of days, and I don't want you to miss out. Hit that subscribe button, share videos around, and if you see that little bell notification icon, be sure to click on that because YouTube's is being wonky with the notifications again, so I don't want you to miss out on anything.